Sorry, guys, I'm sick. That's gonna be our intro.
Yeah, there you go. Do it.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Benji and Anthony here, and welcome to the bar for our movie review today of
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, filmed in 1974 by Tobe Hooper.
Yeah, one of the old classic first ever slasher films that came out. It's actually based off a true story, semi based off a true story. A lot of things were used for movie references. They couldn't use everything from it. But yeah, let's get into it. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This movie is about a couple siblings and some friends going on a road trip, going to see an old house.
Right, something that their father left them, maybe, I believe. So we have the protagonist, Sally, played by Marilyn Burns, and her handicapped brother, Franklin, played by Paul Partain, yes. I believe.
Yeah, and they're just going on a trip with a couple of friends when a couple of things start happening. Weird events start happening in this little area, kind of secluded area.
In Texas, right?
Yeah, in Texas. And it's kind of... They're kind of questioning certain things, and they pick up hitchhikers. They see stuff.
Now this is the 70s when thinking things like picking up hitchhikers was kind of norm.
Yeah, so it was something where you didn't really think someone was gonna hurt you.
Something bad was gonna happen.
Yeah, it was like peace and love for everyone. So
exactly.
it was,
they were reading astrology books, right? They were talking about Saturn and retrograde and planets and things like that.
Yeah, and that's when everything kind of gets a little bit weird. Where sadly some of the massacres happen in this movie. Horror films, in my opinion, need gore. To me, I don't like...
That was a little scary the way you started.
Yeah, right.
Horror films.
Sorry.
Yeah, this is the first time I saw this film as a recommendation from Ben. I didn't want to do it because it scared me from the very... As a child, I've known of this movie. My brother saw it and he's like, yeah, I don't think you should watch this film. It's too scary. But go on.
I feel like a horror film shouldn't have jump scares. It's more of the thrill factor of horror films, where you feel like, whoa, this could happen. This is suspenseful. And to me, the cool thing about this movie was, well, not cool, but the interesting part about it was that it was real. This happened. This actually happened in real life.
And we've talked about that. That's the aspect that you liked about scary films. That if it could really happen, that's you're interested.
Exactly,
right? You're in.
And this movie had it. The goriness behind it, and it was very low production, about 300,000, I believe.
Yeah.
So it was very low production, and they didn't have to show you blood everywhere. They didn't have to show you brains
or slow-mo pictures.
Exactly.
Or lighting.
You just felt it. And one of the scenes that I love personally, one of the kill scenes that they showed, is when he hits him with a hammer in the first one.
Yeah.
The acting behind that, the feel of it, you felt it down your spine.
It was extremely disturbing to see that scene in the beginning.
And it's something where...
It's the first kill, actually,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's the first kill that happens. And I love that about it. It's something where it engages me because I'm not a big horror fan personally. I just feel a lot of horror films are cheesy. In the way of they're predictable. A lot of them,
it's starting to become too predictable.
Yeah, this person's gonna die. This person's gonna run. They're gonna open the door, and this is gonna it's just
going up the stairs instead of out the door.
Exactly, it's something where it's that. But besides that, the way it's shot scares. The way the scenes, because it's always dark. The sun's coming down, and that's when everything starts happening.
Right.
Some of the shots where they show some of the crazy people in the thing. The gas station owner, when they show him in the truck and you see his little eye and it's shooting from the bottom up, and that's all you see, this little bit of light in his eye, but the rest of it is dark. So it's kind of like saying, hey, something's hidden behind this.
Exactly. There's more to this, right?
Yeah, like it's the acting wasn't bad, and it's hard because in the 70s you look at some of the movies and the acting was kind of like, oh, so dramatic, oh, I'm dying. Right. And this wasn't like that. You actually felt terror. From the main character, Sally. You felt that. You felt her fear. Something I was telling my girlfriend when we were watching this was, I feel like she would have rather died than went through what she went through this movie.
I agree. Yeah. Especially at the end when you see how, actually her expressions at the end were so genuine. One of the things that I found disturbing about this film is that how normal things could be. They're just these friends going on a road trip. They're looking for gas. In the 70s, there was that whole gas thing where gas was kind of scarce. Later on, we found out it was false. But the fact that they're all like, oh, there's a house. Oh, and I think that they have gas there. Let's just go. And I'm going to give them my guitar, and I'll pick up my guitar on the way back. And then just things start happening. Like it gets progressively, like it just downhill. Like the first kill, and then it just awful, keeps right? Going, the fact that they have the handicapped brother was very like weird to me. Like, first of all, no movies really base things like that. Like they never really have a handicapped character in it. And then for him to be slashed by the hitchhiker played by Edwin Neal, he was such a disturbing character in the first place. Why would you pick up someone in front of a slaughterhouse? I think I mentioned that to you earlier today. I was like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Let's pick up a hitchhiker on the slaughterhouse. No. So it was just,
Yeah, you felt the terror from him. You knew something was off, but they were like, oh, whatever. It's a hitchhiker. Like, everything's cool. Peace and love, prosperity.
What's your sign?
Yeah. Yeah, and it was something like that scared you. Like you said, it's normal.
It is normal.
Even the main, the villain, you could say, Leatherface, like he played it so well. The way he stayed quiet and would moan, and when he would kill something, and the way he would scream and act, some of the faces he wore, like towards the end of
oh my god, that was a woman's face, right?
At one point he wore that, and the way he dressed, just because they wanted to portray that, because the original murderer from this, which was Ed Gein, or Gein, he actually, the reason he would kill women and wear it is because he wanted to be a woman, I believe. And that was one of his reasons why he did a lot of these things, which you guys could read up into that. It's a crazy story. I read into it when I saw this movie. I was a kid, I was a child. This was like my bedtime movie.
To you, because I'm a 43-year-old and I just saw it. So
yeah, and I had to read more into it because it was something so interesting that this could happen, and that's the scary part about it. And to make so much money off of that,
$300 million. Wow, what an investment, right? One of the things that I want to ask you about, did you see like the duality of the way that Franklin looked and the way Leatherface looked? They were both kind of not all there. There was something off about them. They had the curly hair. I don't know. I thought that was something very strange that maybe Tobe Hooper was doing behind the scenes to make freak us out even more. That maybe this awful person, Leatherface, could be in your family. Maybe, because also it's about family too, right? Yeah. There's the brothers, the father, the grandfather shows up at the end and starts sucking blood from poor Sally.
Yeah, that scene was pretty graphic, like it was weird. That was weird to me. Like, I don't even know if that part was weird or not. It was just, I feel like that was thrown in there, but it was so good,
Yeah, like, it was just disturbing to say the least. The graphic violence was so high in this film, especially for the 70s. I can't even believe they found distribution for this.
But remember, I think they banned it in a couple of countries or states, right?
Yep. And some states pulled it from the theater.
Yeah, they banned it from it. It's something where it was gory, but not gory. I don't know if that makes sense. Nowadays, you see gory, you see like The Hills Have Eyes. You see stuff like that where it's blood and arms being ripped out. But this one was gory in the sense of the passion of the way the actors work, the fear in their eyes, the fear in the craziness. Yeah. There is a noise that I remember since a kid. There's like a little like hissing noise during the whole movie when it started like something like that, and it. To this day, it still brings chills down my spine because of how
I know what you're talking about, and it is very, very, very creepy.
Yeah,
it's like a photograph being taken.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
Something like that always happens, and when they're zooming into her eyes and they zoomed in so close, that shot beautifully. It's just stuff like that. It's not even the sense of...
This is a well-crafted film. This is like you could tell the Tobe Hooper took his time. Even though he didn't have a lot of time to shoot, he had long hours, but he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, this movie is great. I recommend it. I mean, I would tell anybody, if you haven't seen a horror film in a while and you want to see something classic and great, go watch this movie. So, Anthony, what do you think? What's the score for this movie?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you because I actually did not watch this movie on purpose. I avoided it like the plague. And now it's actually going to be added to my collection of films because I really enjoyed it. The cinematography was excellent. The acting. Did you notice it was like at the end when Leatherface is chasing Sally? Did you kind of get a Scream vibe like when Drew Barrymore was being chased by Ghostface?
I think that's where they originally got it
from.
I
feel like it was pulled, so you could tell that this is a horror classic, and Wes Craven was like, you know what? Let me pull from this movie. Yeah. And for that reason, just for it being a great film, scary movie, I give it an 8.
Yeah, same here. I give it an 8 out of 10. This movie really reminded me of how horror films should be. They should give you not the aspect of being scared in the sense of jump scares, but of that feeling of this could happen, this happened, this the thrill of that, the fear in the actor's eyes. When you feel that, I feel like it's just a great film overall.
I totally agree.
Hey, what's up, guys? Benji and Anthony here again. And again, thank you for joining us at TheB.A.R for the review for Texas Chainsaw Massacre of 1974.
Showing us on Wednesday for, what is it, Whack Wednesday?
Our Whack
We
Wednesday.
haven't done one of those in a while, and this one's a zinger. It's Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It came out in the 1980s. What year did that
88.
come out? 88?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one of the classic horror Halloween films. Has clowns, with that big epidemic going around.
I wouldn't call it a classic. A cult classic.
Cult classic. But with the big clown epidemic, I feel like this is going to fit perfect with the things going around. So hopefully you guys could join us on that. In the comments down below, let us know if some of your nostalgic horror films, maybe some of your original in the 70s or 80s films that kind of scared you when you were a kid. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe in the bottom. Thank you for joining us at TheB.A.R again. Don't forget to share the video as well. And have a good one.